Look, we've all felt it, right? That deep, heavy frustration with the traditional narrative that constantly tells us, work hard, sacrifice your time, and just struggle until you finally succeed. We've literally always been told that the path to financial stability is paved with endless exhaustion. But as we're going to explore in this explainer today, that idea, it might just be the tip of the iceberg of a highly complex system. We're going to break down the idea of money as an energy versus the traditional economic system and understand what's actually happening behind the scenes. Okay, let's dive into this with a pretty bold question. What if everything you learned about money is just wrong? Not just slightly off, but completely upside down. Ever since we were young kids, we've been programmed, without even realizing it, without ever questioning it, to believe that money is costly, it's hard to get, and it requires massive sacrifice and endless suffering. We were told life is hard, and there just isn't enough to go around. And as kids, well, we simply believed it.
Section 1. The trick. How exactly were you programmed?
The old rule we're fed is simple. Work hard and struggle blindly. But have you ever actually stopped to ask who designed these ideas? The societal system we live in actually operates as a closed circle. It is meticulously designed to give you just enough to survive so you don't rebel, but never enough to actually let you escape and achieve true freedom. The harsh reality is that a very small group controls the rules of the game. The banks, the governments. They implicitly decide how much you pay to live, what your time is literally worth, and how much you can grow without breaking out of the mold. The goal isn't to free you, it's to keep you participating right inside the system.
And honestly, the craziest part about all this external control doesn't even need guards. Why? Because your own mind is the true control system. Since childhood, you've been a tape recorder, parents fighting over money, hearing the phrase "there is not enough," witnessing stress and debt and sacrifice. These simple everyday scenes became your internal reality and your deep programming. You aren't creating your financial reality from scratch as an adult. You're simply repeating those exact patterns and limits you witnessed, completely unquestioned.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 2. The illusion of money and the financial system truth. To understand how this system affects your pockets today, we really have to look at the broader economic picture. There's an absolutely crucial historical shift that happened. In the past, money was backed by something physical, tangible, and finite, gold. But in the present, money has become a fiat currency, backed by absolutely nothing but trust. The result of that? Governments can print money endlessly. This constant expansion and manipulation creates money with less value, way more debt, and a deeply fragile financial system where a bank lends out money it doesn't even actually have.
So what happens when this incredibly fragile system stretches way too far? Well, it breaks. And when the financial system inevitably breaks, this harsh truth emerges. Cash is power, and liquidity is freedom. In times of crisis, those with liquid cash and control sweep in and buy up assets at ridiculously cheap prices while everyone else loses everything. Understanding this is a fundamental part of the traditional economic game and how you can actually protect yourself within it.
Now, what's really interesting here is our next major shift. Section 3, Money as Energy and the Secret of Frequencies.
We are moving away from the boring language of banks and debt for a second and stepping right into the language of physics and consciousness. Think about this definition. Money, at its core, isn't just physical paper you can touch. That's just an illusion. Money, in reality, is an energy. And like everything in your life, your thoughts, your feelings, and your decisions vibrate and emit a frequency. This energetic frequency of money responds directly to the value you offer, the trust you build, and the service you provide, rather than just raw physical effort.
Which brings us to a profoundly deep realization. You don't receive what you want, you receive what you are. This isn't just some abstract philosophy, guys, it's pure mechanics. Your internal state acts as a literal magnet. If you carry a fear of poverty inside you, you are going to attract situations that reflect that fear. If there's a constant feeling of lack, you'll attract deprivation. You simply attract the frequency you emit.
Think of it like this. Imagine you are living inside an invisible bubble. This energy bubble acts as a filter for your whole life. There are always opportunities, money, and people moving towards you. But if you are vibrating at a frequency of lack, your energy filter will completely repel and block out that abundance. Similarly, if you're in a state of abundance, the filter blocks out lack. Your energy is quite literally the gateway that determines what gets to enter your financial reality.
Moving right along to Section 4, the trap of self-depletion.
So how do we accidentally mess up this energetic flow? Often, we try to change our financial lives without actually changing our energy first, which leads to some pretty self-destructive behaviors. It starts with small things, right? A car breaks down, something breaks in the house. It seems like a coincidence, but it's really an accumulation of continuous negative energy that snowballs until things collapse into major financial crises. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the biggest self-sabotage traps, the desperate need to please others. The pleaser persona undervalues themselves, overworks, and undercharges purely out of a fear of rejection. When you give value and don't receive it back, you are literally breaking the energetic flow. Money needs to move. Giving without receiving stops the electrical current of abundance dead in its tracks. True value lies in providing a service and honestly receiving its worth in return.
To really ground the power of this idea, let me share an amazing story from our sources. There was a simple waiter who managed to quadruple, yes, 4x his income in a single day. How? Well, he didn't change his job, and he definitely didn't change the restaurant. He changed exactly one thing: his energy. He stopped focusing on his personal worries and his desperate need for money and simply started serving customers with genuine sincerity and care. People responded immediately, because energy cannot be faked, and money naturally follows true value and sincere service.
So, the crucial point is how we actually apply this. Section 5. Practical steps for financial abundance.
How do we actually step out of a scarcity mindset and program ourselves for real abundance? Well, these 4 steps perfectly summarize the systematic solution. First, decide your true direction. You literally can't reach a destination without a clear compass of what you truly want. Second, change your energy to sincere service instead of desperately chasing cash. Third, maintain strict financial discipline. You've got to spend less than you earn and build up your cash reserves so you're totally ready when those opportunities finally flow in. And fourth, create and offer real value. Put your genuine creativity and intention into what you do, because people buy feelings and experiences way before they buy physical things.
And that brings us to the final thought I really want you to take away today. Life was never a struggle. It was designed to flow. When you truly understand the energetic and physical rules we've discussed today, money completely stops being this monster you have to fight or frantically chase. It simply becomes a natural result of your flow, the value you provide, and the discipline you practice. So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. What is the energy you are emitting into your financial reality at this very moment?